Another week, boys, and another TWAB. Fellas, I hope you're doing well today. We've got some good news. We also got some terrible news. A couple of nerfs were handed out today in the Hotfix, which I did not see coming. But first up, this week at Bungie, Osiris requests your assistance. I'm currently writing this TWAB from the warmth of my home office. There's been an abundance of snow in the greater Seattle area, so many of us with long commutes have been keeping up the pace through the miracle of the internet and conference calls. The show must go on. There's a mysterious new quest being offered by the wily warlock who's always messing about with time itself. The community is already on the case and working together to explore the corridors of time. We don't want to spoil anything, but do want to let everyone know that this one's a marathon, not a sprint. We'll keep an eye on things, and so far we're impressed with your progress. So far it's been pretty wild, guys. What you see in the background right now is actually like the first phase to this quest, but the stuff that Raid Secrets and Glad and the rest of them are all doing right now for like 18-20 hours a day is pretty crazy. I am blown away. Every time I wake up, it's like something new that just goes right over my head. Now next on the TWAB, we have Iron Banner returning next week, and with it, we also have a Valor bonus week inside of Iron Banner. Bungie states right here, based on the feedback collected during the first Iron Banner from the season, we'll be auto-completing everyone through the portion of the quest that requires rocket launcher defeats. We weren't able to deploy a change to this step, but we can complete it for anyone who hasn't already done so. This gives us time to consider changing or removing the step for next season. Well, looky there, guys. No lie, that quest really isn't that bad. It's just the rocket launcher portion that is just such a pain, as it kind of just takes away from the objective of control. I'll be playing Iron Banner next week. I mean, really, it's a great resource to get good pinnacle gear. I'm still hunting some art gear with like +2 mobility for those max stats that we talked about a few weeks ago. Iron Banner is a great source for that. The problem was those rocket launcher defeats, man, took way too long. Good change, Bungie. This should revitalize Iron Banner next week. Moving on, Guardians to the rescue. Last week, we pledged to support Australians' firefighting efforts and animal rescue and conservation efforts due to the ongoing bushfires devastating parts of the country. Today we share full details on how you can support these efforts by purchasing a limited edition Guardians for Australia t-shirt that also comes with a free Starlight Starbright emblem as a thank you for your donation. So yeah, guys, this shirt is actually available at the Bungie store. I want to say it's like $20, but half the proceeds go to Australia. Am I getting that right? Or maybe it's all of it. Either way it goes, pretty dope looking shirt. The emblem is even more dope, so if you got some money to spare, feel free to get in on this. Now moving into the patch note preview. When the 2.7.02 update slipped, we were reminded that sometimes our plans have to shift a bit, but we were able to release it today with only a 48-hour delay. So far, 2.7.1 is on schedule, and here's a small preview at a few of the changes coming in it. So first up, the Orbit and Director. Players can now shortcut directly to their roster by selecting the empty Fireteam slots or by invoking the roster shortcut on the Director map screens. When an activity is selected, Fireteam leaders can navigate left and right to get to quests and roster respectively, then back to their selected activity. It's actually really nice. You won't have to like back out, reselect the quest all over again to adjust your Fireteam. Okay, just some ease of use there. Some good quality of life updates. I'm down for that. Moving on, weapons. Breakneck now has a higher damage per second at Rampage ×1 and ×2 from 2,170 and 2,120 to now 2,190 and 2,410. Fellas, did I just read that right? Is Breakneck actually getting a buff? What? Okay, we actually did a complete overview of perks in the game, 2 months ago? Breakneck was one of those weapons that actually dropped damage with each consecutive stack of Rampage. I know it got an increase there in rate of fire, but it was doing less damage for the sake of balance. Either way it goes. Well, hell yeah, I am all for a buff for some Breakneck. Now, the screen shake on Hardlight has also been adjusted. What the hell is this? Do we have an auto rifle buff coming? Okay, hands down, Hardlight is my favorite auto rifle in the game. I actually still use it pretty regularly. And if you got the catalyst, I know the stability bump doesn't seem to help, but it actually does a little bit of something. It was just hard to tell how much it actually benefited you because this thing would just jump all over the place. Now that they're adjusting the screen shake, fellas, Hardlight is about to become meta. I've been praying for Hardlight to be meta since Destiny 1. I even spent a weekend playing trials with nothing but Hardlight, trying to convince people out there that it was a good gun. It didn't work because it wasn't a good gun. It had the same screen shake problems back then as it does now. This is excellent. This is going to change everything. Holy hell. Moving on. Armor. Several class item armor mods will now correctly provide diminishing returns when multiple copies of the mods are equipped. These mods include Perpetuation, Innervation, Invigoration, Insulation, and Absolution. Yeah, so these mods were actually doubling up. I didn't want to say anything. They were actually really nice. Instead of it being like double the benefit, it's probably going to do the same thing that we have with our other mods where it's like 1.5. Also, Grenade Launcher Scavenger will no longer award special ammo for grenade launchers when the player picks up primary ammo bricks. Wow, I didn't even know that. See, some bugs I don't even know about until Bungie says something. Now, moving on to the actual hotfix that launched today. Destiny Hotfix 2.7.0.2. The EDZ obelisk should be fixed now, as previously it was almost impossible to access. Also, the flashing notification icon for Eververse would not stop flashing above Tessa's head. Actually, I thought that was intentional. I thought it was like trying to lure us over there to check out Tess. Now, before we go any further, I actually do want to look at hotfix 2.7.02, as we do have some major changes. Most notably, Wishender's Broadhead perk has now been fixed. It was originally dealing more damage than intended. I was hoping Bungie wasn't going to do anything here. I know it's not necessarily a nerf because the weapon was unintentionally doing more damage. If anything, it only slightly increased usage there of Wishender. Wishender was doing like what, 3-4 times the damage? By no means was it making it overpowered inside of PvE. It was actually performing in the way an exotic bow should perform inside of PvE. I'm assuming this change may actually lead to some good, as in we may actually see an overall buff to bows inside of PvE, more notably to our exotic bows. When was the last time you used Trinity Gold, huh? Wishender? Did we ever even use that in PvE? Luminark's not bad. I'm just saying, exotic bows are not commonly used, and they desperately need some love for PvE. Also, equipping both a fusion rifle scavenger mod and a linear fusion scavenger mod will no longer cause heavy ammo to be gained from special ammo boxes. Somebody told me about this bug a while back. I actually tried it for a game. It didn't work for me. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or what was going on. But supposedly, if you equip both of those scavenger perks, every time you picked up special ammo, you would grant yourself heavy ammo. Kinda sucks I never got in on that. Also, using Telesto with heavy-handed obelisk mod will no longer generate unintentional extra special ammo. Telesto's full of bugs. I actually got a build coming out tomorrow surrounding Telesto and one of the bugs. And no lie, it is so much fun. But it's like in Telesto's nature to just break the game. Also, for my people that were not able to access the Gunsmith weekly destination bounty, they've now been re-enabled and will properly rotate weekly instead of daily. Now, moving back to the TWAB, we have some changes coming to our solar subclass emotes. Earlier this week, we identified an issue where the solar subclass emotes were being sold for an incorrect price of 800 silver on the Eververse feature page. These emotes were removed from the feature page, but are still available for purchase at the correct price of 500 silver, and that will be present on the seasonal page. I don't know. The only thing I buy with silver are weapon ornaments, but I might check them out. For the players that did purchase it though at 800 silver, Bungie will follow up with you at a later date. So that's pretty much it, guys. We've got a couple other known issues. Things like Transcendent Blessing mods are not appearing inside of players' inventories with Armor 2.0, people dying randomly inside of the Pit of Heresy dungeon, thus resulting in people not being able to complete the flawless dungeon run. Also, the Sundial Fractaline Extractor 3, which is obtained from the Nessalus Obelisk, incorrectly states an increased chance to find polarized Fractaline when completing strikes. The enhancement actually increases the chance to find polarized Fractaline when completing the Sundial and the Menagerie. I don't know if that's a new bug or not. I want to say it actually stated Sundial and Menagerie before, right? I don't know, man. The game is getting increasingly buggy, but good on Bungie for jumping on this. The only thing that was left off today, and I don't see it in the hotfix 2.7.02, is the auto ban feature. Remember, inside of comp, or really just inside of Crucible, people that are hacking in the game should actually get auto banned now, as in there's not a manual process in which Bungie or someone at Bungie has to look at the report to see if that person is actually breaking or hacking the game. I hope that is in place because that was supposed to launch with 2.7.02. If you guys got any information on that, feel free to comment it down below. I'll definitely pin it, as these hackers, DDoSers, and everyone else that is manipulating the game definitely need to be handled. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.